there's not much you can do now.
No. All right. So everybody got this model open here.
Yep.
So you guys that weren't here last time, you guys at least know how to like control around in Maya and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you guys did the first lecture with the, what was the first little animal we did? The fish.
The fish. Yeah. I did an entire year in Maya.
What?
I did an entire year in Maya.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at where we're at. I think we finished the head. No. Did we skin this thing? I thought we had skinned this thing.
Oh, mine's working. I got his.
We was on the flood.
I must have opened an old file here. What the?
Mine's skin.
Where did you get yours from?
Yeah. I'm using the one you gave us right now.
Did. Okay, and is yours skinned?
Mine. Yeah, mine's. Yeah, it's good.
Y'all are using the one I gave you?
No, we're using the one that he gave us. The guy in the book now.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is.
Oh, I gave you guys the wrong file. Yeah. Well, for whatever reason, my thing was named weird.
What's it called?
It's bizarre. All right, there's another file in there. It's called Giraffe. That one will work. Giraffe 1 does not seem to work for some reason.
Yeah, my texture didn't show up either.
Yeah, the texture's kind of gone.
Yeah, right. So again, I'm going to tell you guys this. If you double click on a Maya file, it's going to lose its texture pathing. You have to open Maya, then go to File Open. As long as you put the texture in the same directory, it will find it if you do it that way. Because it'll look for all the assets in that directory, that open directory.
Oh, I guess as opposed to just like clicking it open, they'll just go, oh, I guess I just have to look for that.
Yeah, exactly. It goes, oh, can't find it in the original texture slot. Let's see what's next to it. Duh. Does everybody have access to that new file on the Google Drive?
Yeah, this one I get.
Yeah, my texture's still gone. Do you have that link back out?
I have the link on my phone.
Yeah, just grab this link, you guys, from last time, or from this time. That way we can all, kind of start from the same spot. Might as well. All right. So let's take a look here. Looks like, I know we did the head. We've got the ears. Again, you can just grab these and tap E on your keyboard to rotate the different bones. I think we went through and did the eyes. Yep.
Yeah, this is working.
All right. Now the neck should be okay. Maya's usually pretty good about stuff like that, making that look pretty good. I know once we get down to the legs, we're going to have some problems. That's not too bad. Quadrupeds are always a nightmare. Okay, so the tail should be something easy we can knock out real quick. So let's start off with the tail. As you can see, if you rotate the tail bone, if you rotate that, he's going to pull his butt and the rest of his legs, okay? So we need to do a little bit of negative flooding. like we did last time, and I'll go over that strategy here. So everybody click on the giraffe. And I want you to, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a drop-down. Switch that to the rigging tab. All right? Then click on your rigging tab, kind of in the upper middle of the screen. And then you're going to double-click your Paint Skin Weights tool. Paint Skin Weights tool, if you look up, you can see where my mouse is at. It's like little squares with a paintbrush. Double-click that. It's going to open up the tool. And then go ahead and find that tail joint in there. So there's two ways we can go about doing this. And I think the easiest way, instead of negative flooding, is for us to just paint out this white that's on the butt and just leave what's on the tail. So if you move over the giraffe with your paintbrush, the little red paintbrush will show up. If you hold B on your keyboard, hold B and left click and hold left and right, it'll increase or decrease the size of your paintbrush. But you have to be over the giraffe. Okay? So I'd make that about the size of, like, I don't know, a nickel. And then you can change your value in your Paint Skin Weights tool to 0, which it will paint black. And then you want to go through and just start painting out all of the white. Again, we have the tail selected in the Paint Skin Weights tool. And you want to go through and start painting out black over where the white is on the butt. Now make sure you don't paint the tail. You're just painting the butt. So he's got some white on the back of his legs, the upper, you know, butt area. So again, all we've done is we click the giraffe, double click the Paint Skin Weights tool. In the Paint Skin Weights tool, you'll scroll down, you can see the list of joints. You're going to click on the tail. You're going to set your value to 0 down at the bottom. And your paintbrush, if you hold B and click and hold left and right on the giraffe, it's going to make the brush bigger or smaller. And then you just go through and you're going to paint out the white that is not related to the tail. So anything on the butt, again, back of the legs. Got to look real close or else you'll miss stuff.
The white that shows is only tied to the tail.
What?
We select that.
What?
Like, if we select the tail, all the white that shows up is just tied to the tail. Right.
Yes. See what I'm doing? Look up at the projector. I'm painting out the white that is not... Now this is all vertex based, so the paintbrush will paint vertices, okay? You're not painting faces, you're not painting edges, you're painting vertices. So see how I'm kind of surrounding the tail here? You want it to be kind of smooth. So I'm going to leave it like this and then just test it. See what it looks like. To test it, you click the arrow tool in the upper left, then you can select the bone, then just rotate it. So everybody look up here real quick. So I fixed the upper tail and I'm rotating it, and what's happening? It's taking a chunk of the butt, but I don't understand why, if I fix it, why is it taking a chunk of the butt? That's right, because the joints lower down in the chain are affecting that. So I got to go through all of the joints in that joint chain and paint them out. So double click the Paint Skin Weights tool again, find tail 1, and sure enough, it's affecting it. So I got to paint that out too. Oh, the joys of paint skin weighting.
So much fun.
Again, I actually did this stuff in the industry for a little while. I worked at a small company to start, and I was the animator, one of the animators, and I also did the rigging. And I always found rigging very relaxing because it's kind of the same stuff over and over again, and you get pretty good at it. If you get pretty good at anything if you do something over and over again, and I got pretty good, and I just, you know, pretty low stress, to be honest with you.
You did Metal Gear Solid? Was that the game you worked on?
I worked on Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor. If you only Metal Gear Solid, you're like, holy shit.
No. So guys, I'm credited on over like 20 titles. Like I've worked on a bunch of ship titles. But the biggest title that I've ever worked on in regards to budget has been Medal of Honor. I mean, they spent crazy amounts of money on that game. Like just threw money at it. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Nice, man. I hate to be one of those guys that's like, oh yeah, I used to work in the industry. Because like, as the head of the program here, all of the professors that I hire are in the industry. Like I try and hire people in our program that you guys learn from that are working now. So has anybody here ever had a class with a professor that's actually working in the industry? So what professors was it?
I'm trying to remember who's the guy who's running the concept art class.
Seong Kim? You're taking him now? Who does he work for?
He does the Disney, well, he works at Giraffe now, but he made like toys and stuff like that, and 3D modeling for the...
Did he show you his portfolio and stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else? Who else is taking a professor here that's worked somewhere?
A few, but I'm not those names.
What?
Yeah, I took a few, but I'm not those names.
Okay.
I know.
That's helpful.
My 3D animation class I did last year. He works at he worked in Gearbox, I believe. Like I don't remember his name, but he said. But
Was
the
it-
thing is, like he said it was his last year.
White guy, black guy?
Black guy.
Dia Hadley. He's the lead animator at Gearbox.
Yes, that was him.
That's right. Anybody else?
I'm not taking him now, but I used to take him. He was the guy who's running the concept art class. I try and remember his...
What's his name? Where did he work?
Honestly,
So Kevin Ray,
Kevin, yeah.
the other 3D modeling instructor, Kevin, he works at Real Effects. So most of the instructors that I hire here, they work in the industry. So you guys are learning from, you know, pros, not like old washed up guys like me. Unfortunately, you have to take this class with me.
Like the only detail I remember is that he liked my stuff, but he hated the fact that I was lazy.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
well, I mean, that kind of makes a little sense.
Yeah. I've had multiple teachers tell me that I'm actually really smart, I'm just really lazy.
Nice. All right, so keep working down the joint chain here. You want to paint out all the excess black.
Looks like I got him.
Is this working for everybody?
Yeah, looks like I got him.
Anybody having any problems?
And how do we check again?
So click the arrow in the upper left-hand corner, arrow tool, select tool, and then select the joint and rotate it. Click E on your keyboard, and it will rotate.
Yeah, I can do a whole line, right?
Why are you trying to bind skin? Why don't you just give him the link that I gave you? It's already. Why are you using an older thing?
Apparently this is the link that he got.
No, use this link.
Oh, use the old one. Oh. Maybe his is super behind.
Anybody else's allergies acting up today?
Yes.
Yep.
Good lord. We must be in like DEFCON yellow or something.
Terrible.
You guys ever seen that? It's like the pollen alert
Yeah.
or pollution alert. Moderate. There's actually,
You're being serious.
yeah, no, I'm dead serious. They monitor the air quality.
He's like, I don't know about
So if you ever wake up and you're like, God, I can't breathe, my allergies are killing me, look up the air quality for the day. You can do that.
I never thought about the air quality.
Yeah, it's a thing.
This is fine. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not you. It's not you, it's me.
I have no idea what happened. I'm trying to figure out.
Select the giraffe from skeleton.
We're trying to, but whenever we select the skeleton, it's selecting the giraffe too.
I put it on a different layer.
Right. Now,
Kind of click outside and then reselect it.
alright. Hopefully stack up now. That's not it. Now, set your, now you gotta select the tail finally. Now set this value to 0. Paint everything, and I'll paint everything but the faces of the black.
Man, I had some vivid dreams last night. I don't know, weird stuff. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in one of my dreams.
That sounds like a great dream.
Oh, I know why, because they just remade Predator.
Oh yeah!
Oh.
Yes.
Predator walks Monster.
I heard it was actually pretty good.
I heard it was pretty good.
I've heard it was terrible.
No.
Was this a setup for an in-class advertisement?
Have you heard like the plot twist in it?
Yes, for the Power Glove
Have you
2.0.
heard about the plot twist in the new Predator movie?
What now?
Have you heard about the plot twist in it?
No.
Do you want to know?
Are you going to spoiler alert it for everybody?
Never mind. We'll find out.
Actually, the funny thing is, Dumbledore dies in the pig.
See, that's the other cool thing about like doing this paint skin weight stuff. Since the task is so repetitive, like you can literally have a full-on conversation with somebody while you're doing this. Like I'm literally just, it's like I'm a kid with a coloring book. I'm like painting out, painting. So all we're doing is just painting out the white, going down this tail and just painting out the white. Is anybody done yet? Nice. So last but not least, that little nub on the end of the tail, it's not really 100% weighted, so you might need to check what that looks like. If I check what that looks like, the white on there, it's not fully white, so what you want to do is, it's kind of like not that white, so you just want to set your value back to 1 and paint white instead of black, and just go over it and make sure that nub is fully white. Yeah, the entire nub. And again, if you hold B, you can grow or shrink your paintbrush.
wireframe?
What?
Is
Somebody help him.
when I'm doing any constant wireframe, I'm like, meld it here. Like this. It goes like this.
This is my first time with this. What's the mask?
I'm not seeing this video.
I played a little bit, but never really did
Oh,
seriously, but,
no,
you
it's
know,
not supposed
now
to.
I want to just try and
And then
make some
sometimes
time to like
I put the value back to
do
1.
stuff, like do a lot of stuff decently.
Yeah.
So that little nub will be nice and solid when you rotate it. Have you seen giraffes' tails when they just kind of like hang?
Whatever it is, it's fixed now.
Fixed what it was.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, I got a question. Why do you want some areas white? That allows that area to move.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's not moving.
And the black makes it where it don't move.
Yeah. The black parts don't move, the white ones do.
That.
That's
It's not a racial thing, Corey.
yeah, it's not kind of only slightly.
Only if you make it that way, you get it. So, way to go. You're the problem.
Oh, wait. That's
So I want to show you guys something else. Everybody look up here real quick. Jason and Corey, y'all look up here real quick. So the top of the tail here, I've kind of isolated it a little bit, but I've kind of messed it up. It's not very clean on the edges here. There's a little button over here. There's paint operation. And right now we're using replace, so wherever you paint white, it turns black and vice versa. But there's this other one called smooth. And smooth is really cool. It like basically goes through and like smooths out all the weights and does like a, it just basically kind of like smooths it. If anybody's ever used the airbrush in Photoshop, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a nice blurry, smoothy kind of thing that just kind of just makes everything not so jagged and crappy, if that makes sense.
so just hit replace with smooth.
Yeah, you just switch replace with smooth and it will smooth out the weights. It's really cool. So I've been using that smooth more and more in my skin weighting, and it's really like been effective. Correct. It turns off positive and negative. It just smooths out any jaggies.
There are dozens of those. Dozens. That joke doesn't make sense when I'm on Super Bowl, This is not one.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, so once you guys finish with the tail, go ahead and move on to the legs. They should be pretty self-explanatory. You want them to bend like legs should bend. Use add and replace, or use replace. Use white and black, and just paint out until those legs bend the way they're supposed to bend.
So I just do the same thing we were doing before.
Correct. With same thing with the tail. One of the things I like to do is like bend the leg up 90 degrees. You can use the channel box over here, and then bend it like he's taking a step. Again, another negative 90. And you can bend the paw like he's a pointer giraffe. And then you'll go through and you can just tweak the weighting when it's bent like this. And when it looks like it's good, you're good. Like, for example, that knee on the back is kind of caved in. That's not right. The front of the knee looks pretty good. This all looks pretty good here in the arm. And then the hoof also, you know, needs what we did with the bottom of the tail. But if you bend it up, it looks like he's kind of like a camel right now. But just work through each one of the legs. So I'll walk through the leg here. So I've bent it up 90 degrees in the upper leg, 90 degrees in the lower leg, and then I did 60 degrees for the hoof. So he's kind of in a walk pose here. And when you're finished, you can just click on these bones and set them back to 0, set the rotation back to 0. But for the meantime, I want to see how these are rotating. What? Flag. Yes, flag. Alright, so I've got the flag 1 selected here, and I'm up on the knee, and when I have my value set to 1, so when I paint, it like goes way too much. So what I'm going to do is you can also like decrease the value to like, instead of just using 0 or 1, you can use 0.5. And I like to like go between like, I'll do 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. So I'll like, you know, get into more detail other than just, you know, black and white. So like in this case, I'm going to do 0.75 and just pop out the back of this knee here. This is not working the way I want it to. What? It's not working the way as intended? Yeah. The good news is undo is your best friend. Huh. The boots? No, you want to do that like you do the bottom of the tail. The bottom of the tail. So remember, we have the ability to mirror skin weights. So you really only need to do the legs on one side, and you can mirror any changes you want over to the other side. The other thing is, so I'm fixed the back of the knee here, and it's really kind of crappy. Like it's not. So I'm going to use that smooth tool again, and I'm going to go through and smooth all this out. Smoothing is just, it smooths all the edges and the vertices, and it's just a really cool tool. So you can go through and do like a hard kind of pass, doing some blending, and then you can just go back through with the smooth tool and smooth it all out. And then you get a pretty cool result. See how that hoof looks better than the knee looks better than the last one? That's what you want. So really with this leg, the only thing I did was I fixed the back of the knee. The top of the knee looked fine. And then I'm just going to go through and make F leg 3. Totally solid white. I'm not even going to do anything to the tip of the tip joint of the hoof. I'm going to paint it all to the actual foot joint. If that makes sense. And once that's solid white, your leg's done. And when I first started painting skin weights, like I wanted everything to like just be like by the vertex perfect, right? Like I was just always like, man, everything just needs to be perfect. Like I spent so much time making everything perfect. To be honest with you, nothing in life is perfect. So definitely not this giraffe. So there's an old rule that I've stuck to in 3D, and that rule is there's good and there's good enough. Right. So don't go so nuts and run out of steam. Just make it good enough and then move on. And then as the animators are animating it, if it looks bad, then you fix it. But for the most part, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't waste your time trying to find perfection, because it's just a waste of time. Perfection doesn't exist.
Which joint did you do the mess with the knee?
So I clicked this one here,
Yeah.
and then I painted white on the back of the knee here. So I painted kind of white in phases, and then I went through and then used the smooth tool and smoothed it all out. Flag.
When I'm trying to like do that, it sometimes like it'll mess with the second.
Doing that, it's okay.
Okay. So we talked about mirroring skin weights, and I said that we only needed to do one leg, not the other leg. So as you can see, everybody. Actually, let me figure this out here, and then I'll show you guys. that was easy. All right, you guys, everybody pause and just look up here real quick. I want to show you this. I'll probably have to show you again. That's cool. So I've done this one leg here, the one that's white, okay? And again, I told you, you don't have to do 2 legs because the cool thing is these skeletons are completely mirrored. So you can actually copy the weights from one side to the other side. This will save you a lot of time if you learn how to do it, okay? So as you can see, the back of this knee here, it's nice and painted so that when the calf bends here, it doesn't affect the kind of foreleg here. As you can see on the other side, it's not so much, right? Because I haven't touched that. Same thing with the hoof. The hoof is nice and solid over here, and over here it's janky, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my paint skin weights tool, and I've got the white leg here selected just from this kind of quad down, and F leg 1. And then, so once it's selected in the Paint Skin Weights tool, I go to Skin, Mirror Skin Weights option box, and I'm going to make sure, I'm just going to leave the settings as is, positive to negative, and then I'm going to hit Apply. And as I hit Apply, you'll see instantaneously that other leg is affected, and now it should rotate just like the other one. Ooh, with some issues. That's weird. Well, actually, it's okay. Yeah. It looks like there's some slight stuff that I have to fix, but nothing crazy.
Can you touch up on the other leg first before we do that, or?
Yes. Yeah, try saving your scene and then restarting Maya, opening it back up. Guys, I had a problem with this paint skin weights mirroring. I want to show you how to solve it. Again, I'm probably going to have to go over this stuff a bunch of times. I know you guys are busy doing stuff, but just take a look at this little technique here. So when I mirrored over these skin weights, as you can see, I have some weird vertices kind of coming through now. For the most part, the mirror worked pretty well, but again, nothing in life is perfect, and definitely not Maya. So I went through and I selected these little vertices here. There's another editor that you can use besides the Paint Skin Weights tool called the, let's see, Component Editor. It's under General Editors, Component Editor. And what this does is it allows you to affect the weights on vertices, the actual legit like numbers in real time on each vertice. So it's like a spreadsheet of every vertice you have selected here. So you can see I've got about 10 vertices selected, and I can literally go through here and see what bones they're attached to. And I know that F leg 2 is what I want them to be attached to, so I'm just going to change these values to 100, and then they'll pop back in place, which is not exactly what I want. So let's try something a little bit different. Let's try 0.5. That's a little better. Actually, oh. Okay, well, that's a little bit better. Yep, so I just did like 0.5 between F leg 2 and F leg 1, and that seemed to be pretty good. Again, it's not perfect, but good enough. There's good and there's good enough. Nobody's going to notice that. Like, especially in a game when a giraffe is running around full speed or something, like, nobody will notice that.
I reset mine, but I'm still having the can't use my weights.
Can somebody see if they can help him? Help Jason? Figure out what's going on?
Yeah, capacity needs to be at 1. The value needs to be at 0 or 1 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah, how do we
My
mirror
graph's like way too small.
How do you mirror skin weights?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to mirror from this leg to this leg, right? So you go to, I'm going to click my camel, and then double click the paint skin weights tool. So I'm going to select the leg that I have already fixed, which is flag. And I know I only started from this joint down, so I'm going to select that joint. The joint has to be selected in the paint skin weights tool. Then you go to skin, mirror skin weights option box. Make sure you're on YZ, positive to negative, and hit apply. Now that's when you've already done the paint skin weights on the left leg and you're mirroring to the right leg. If you've done the right leg first and mirror to the left, the settings have to be a little bit different. You're going to want negative to positive instead of positive to negative. It all works on the grid. That makes sense. So this is why we do this stuff over and over again. We're literally going to start a character, paint the skin weights, add the controls. Start a character, paint the skin weights, add the controls. And once we do it like 3 or 4 times, you guys are going to be like, okay, I can do this. What's up?
I'm trying to get the names like all of it, but it keeps like giving like the faces keep like popping up.
You have to like edit, like make it like that.
Yeah, so he's got it good here. So, alright, what you do? So grab this. Why don't you watch this?
Oh, okay.
Looks like this. So over here, I'll change this to 90. This changes to page. This hoof. Rotate that back.
Which works, I started doing the back leg first.
Right. Well, great.
So you like that?
You can do it in whatever order you want to do it.
I think the leg looks a little wonky. I need to change that.
This looks okay. The back of the knee doesn't look okay.
Yeah, I understand.
So, click the leg. Go paint some waist. It's on the back of the leg here.
No, that's the other one.
Right, this one. Alright, so again, all we're going to do is we're going to change our value to 1 here. Just look at change the value to 1. Here.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Alright, so change the value to, instead of 1, that's too much. Change that to 27.
Oh, so on that little editor box you have, click on it? Or like that, click on any of them.
Back of the knee, so that when it bends, Alright, there's fewer more here, so let's go a little bit more, so let's go 0.8. I don't know what it is, but
massage it a little bit, right? Yeah.
I keep sending with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. The hook. So instead of going that tip, you've already done the hook. You already did the hook, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Just bend on it.
You went a little crazy there. So what we can do is change the opacity to, we'll go to the leg up. Alright, change the opacity to 1.5. doing it, it just your value is 0, which is bizarre. Yeah. Well, hit undo. Change your value to 1. Turn pink now. I mean, you're painting black on solid white, so it's gonna shoot off in space.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Guys, make sure to save your scenes. How's everybody doing? Anybody need any help or anything?
I'm actually feeling a bit, but
You said between the joints, or where you got the knee part at? Do we paint that right there? In that area?
Yes.
White, right?
Yes.
oh. You probably need to change it. It's all just randomly set to put you in, pain or disaster we can have.
So guys, look up here real quick. So when you start working yourself down like to the spine, you might want to like bend your giraffe to see just kind of how he moves, and then go through and just paint white like down this different. See how this is like I painted this solid white here for this spine joint, and it fixes all that belly issue stuff. So paint solid white here. See? Yeah, you want to bend your creature the way that, you know, bend him how he's going to bend. And then when you have problems, just use your little smooth tool. Come through here and just kind of smooth all this out. Which isn't fixing much.
On the whole body, go on that part. Just smooth it out then.
Smooth it out.
The joints are just outside the body. Just outside the body.
What editor do you go under for the vertex?
It is called Windows General Editor's Component Editor. And that allows you to set specific values on a per vertex basis. It's like a lot of people like that. Very detailed. I know, this is painful. Trust me. I feel your pain. So the next thing I'm going to do is bend these back legs forward like this, and then go through and kind of see what the problems are, see what's going on underneath, go through and just kind of start to work out the issues. But I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to bend your giraffe in a bunch of different positions and just start painting on it until you can bend him in a bunch of positions and he looks like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And that's the name of the game. BL right leg 1. BLL leg 1.
Just now discovered that my front leg joints are outside the model. Oh my god. That explains why it doesn't move that.
I'm like putting weight in on the back legs, and then I'll go to 3, and then I'll go back to 2, and it'll put it like all the work I did just goes back or something.
Say again.
Okay, so I do back leg 2, and then I get it looking good, I go to 3, and I get it looking good, and I go back to 2, and my work's coming, sort of thing. And I can do it like if it's one step, and it just keeps coming back.
Which leg?
Back leg 2 and 3.
Like the one I have selected here?
Yeah.
So you'll work down the leg, and then when you go back, it'll not hold.
Right.
So you don't want to work. You don't want to work up the leg on that sound. So that left leg's fine. Looks good.
Right. But I go back.
Oh. gonna do about
original piece.
70% of the workload. Then you gotta go in and do the little bit of details.
That being
What
said,
you don't want to do is
yeah.
like go through
Stuff's not-
massive, like you don't need to do massive payouts.
Like the clean slate.
Yeah, totally. And it freaked my out. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? This is not the workflow.
No trust me. No, it takes a while.
Makes sense?
So I just made it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Corey. So you sighed and raised your hand at the same time.
Not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. What's up?
Okay, so I'm working on the back legs now, and I was trying to, and I'm still kind of fixing the problem here. Now it's a 7 currently. I think that's because I was like, that's what it's fine.
You try and use a smooth tool? Tell me how that works out for you.
This doesn't even make sense.
By the way, just to let you know, quadrupeds are like one of the most difficult things to paint. Quadrupeds are incredibly difficult because instead of just 2 legs, you're dealing with 4 legs. So you have to balance the weighting between like a torso, a bottom torso, and 4 different legs. It's really, really annoying.
So whenever you get ready to do the mirroring, you click on the joints and then go to the skin, mirror option box.
Yeah, so you want to, for whatever reason, the paint skin weights tool mirroring, or the mirror tool, mirror skin weights, it only works unless the joint that you want to mirror is selected in the paint skin weights tool. So instead of just selecting the joint, you actually have to click the giraffe, double click the paint skin weights tool, and click the joint that you want to mirror in the tool. Then you can use the mirror skin weights options.
Got it.
For whatever reason, I don't know why that is, but
Maya knows.
yeah, mine does.
So if I do F leg,
Just the top one is going to mirror all of them.
Yeah, I'll mirror down the chain.
mirror
Yeah.
down the chain. Okay.
You guys have to think about like Maya as like a tool that someone made. So when someone makes a feature like mirror skin weights, like they think about it like, oh, well, should we do it on a per joint basis, or should we do it like when they click it, will it do all the other joints down the chain? Right? Like an intelligent person, that's the programmer that's setting up this feature, like, is a person just like you guys.
Can you guys put the hips and all to like into like walk back leg?
What? Was that a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Question. I stumbled on it very hard. But it's a question.
Okay.
Do I need to mess with the hip joint and all to like work on the back?
The hip? You're talking about this? Which hip?
There's a joint like right above the back leg, over here, there. But it's not like for some reason it's not showing up on my it refuses to like show up at all.
What's the name of the joint?
I can't see it because it's not showing up on my thing.
I'm lost.
Okay, like it's the orange one up there. I know that.
This one?
Yes.
It's not showing up?
Yeah. Okay, it's showing up. It's like half showing up. What? Like no, seriously. Look.
Okay. That joint is like the main butt joint. Okay, so basically, like, I mean, you don't really have to mess with that.
Discord? It's like a chat room. Whenever I'm doing the mirror, it's adding on top of itself, not mirroring.
Show me.
So I'll try the X, Y, Y, Z.
Uh huh. What are you trying to mirror? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what? To be honest with you, mirroring only really works good for like arms and legs. When you start to kind of work up into like a torso like that has a lot of different,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Influences. It's mine's just like what? Like it's just
So I should do the leg one.
yeah.
Okay.
The other thing to take into consideration is that nobody cares about things that they can't see. So if you're like working really hard to like try and hide something that's not working right or whatever, and nobody can even see it, don't worry about it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm painting the interior of the leg here, and like there's some weird stuff going on the inside. To be honest with you, no one's ever even gonna see that. So like, why bother? Yeah, do kind of a first pass, smooth it out, and call it a day.
It's still like adding on top of itself.
When you do the mirror,
Yeah.
don't do the mirror.
Don't do the mirror?
Nah, just paint it. Sometimes, you know, it just don't work. Man, that smooth tool is money. I'm telling you. So the only way you're going to learn is just by kind of messing with stuff. So just keep working at it. Eventually you'll get better at it. Another thing that you can do is you can actually flood, just like you flood objects, you can flood vertices. So if you, instead of going into component editor and selecting vertices and going into component editor, you can actually select vertices individually, and you can open your paint skin waste tool, and you can flood those. Let's see. You can actually flood those in the paint skin waste tool, just like you would flood a solid object. What's up?
Oh man, I'm just checking you out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just doing some.
That's a mesh.
That's a mesh. So this is some paint skin weights. This is how we
Make the 3D.
yeah. Well, we teach this is how you build bones in 3D characters.
Right.
And then this is the process of telling the bones what part of the mesh it
To
affects
cover it. Oh, okay.
when you move it. That makes sense. Another trick, you guys, so I've bent my giraffe in all kinds of different crazy ways. If you want to set it back to 0, just click on the giraffe and then go up to skin, go to bind pose, and he'll pop back to the pose in which you bound him. So what's up?
You a beast, man. Oh, I just came.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I thought the class was. I thought you were doing the class today.
Tuesday, Thursday.
It's Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah,
I knew
this
it
is
was Tuesday,
this is my
Thursday,
regular
Friday.
class.
Okay.
This is
Are they
the,
pretty good?
huh?
Are they pretty good?
We got a couple shining bright stars in here. We'll see. See, we're just getting started, so.
Right. Yeah, but that don't mean nothing. Some of them, you know, if you gift it, you gift it, and then it's just how it works. You know, one out of a million will get it done, and the rest is like
Mm-hmm.
you know, they never get it. Some of these students will never get it.
Right.
You know, well, they'll get it, but it'll be later, and opportunities will be diminished. I'm just excited, man, about moving forward.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like, I just can't wait till we have something for Lewis, because I want to come in and have him play.
Yeah.
That's the power in it. So right now, what I do is I keep him teaser.
Mm-hmm.
He's excited.
You've been sending him some of the stuff I
Oh
sent you.
yeah.
We probably need, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but
We
I
just
another
got
month.
4 players working.
It's at least another month or so. I get it.
I want to get it. I was thinking about it last night. I want to get it to where, like, right now we have the combos working, and
Right.
I want to get it to where, like, you got 4 players running around in the game, all 4 characters, and it's like, you know, like
Well, oh,
real,
yeah.
like real, you know,
Real time.
exaggerated, like real cool, and like feedback and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, let me give you the feedback
Mhm.
that I've been getting
Yeah.
from people who play, from parents who spend their money. So, yeah, a good friend of mine, he said, "Hey, man," several had this to say. They said, "Man, we buy
One
this
thing I
com-"
gotta tell you.
Okay.
I'm recording right now. That's a microphone.
Okay.
So.
He said, "Man, here's the thing." He says, "You know, I've got 2 of these consoles. I got 8 controllers.
Mm.
We can't find a game that all my children can play at one time. He said, I got 3 kids, and I play with them. We can't find a game with a 4-game player. With
So
Xbox,
8 total?
Xbox, no, 4.
Oh, really?
4-player game. He said, they don't make them. He said, good.
Well, we're making it.
Hey, we doing it. He said, man, I'm buying that.
Yep.
You understand? He said, man, he said, I swear, dude, we can't get games that's a 4-player game.
Yeah, I don't know. People steer away from it for whatever reason.
Hey, there's people looking for it for some reason too.
I just think it's super fun to sit around and
Yeah,
everybody's
4 people.
playing, you know
Exactly.
what I mean? You'd be like, yeah, jump in. Here,
But
take a controller.
Here's
Yeah.
my thing. Who builds a console? Here's what we got to take into account. Who builds a console with a 4-player game, but you ain't got a game to support it?
Right. Well,
That's
there's 4 sockets.
It's
Bluetooth.
It's remote now.
Yeah, Bluetooth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth. I mean, like
Theoretically, I need to look that up, but theoretically, since it's Bluetooth, you could probably add more than 4.
Oh, absolutely you can. Yeah, cause like I got so many characters, dude. I
Yeah,
got a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
characters.
What's
We can
up,
do it.
man?
Hey, how
How
you
you
doing, man?
doing?
All right, all right.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
I'm awesome.
Okay. What's your name, man?
Jason.
Jason. Yeah, is your daughter young?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Dragon Ninja Clan.
Okay, yeah.
Johnny showed me it.
Yeah, yeah.
Back when I worked at Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah, we're doing the game here.
Oh, for real?
You know, we're making his game in one
Oh,
of the
really?
Project Dev classes.
Yeah, we're doing
That's
the game.
cool.
4-player multiplayer co-op.
Yeah.
Multiplayer co-op
Yeah.
sort of thing. That's
Boy,
cool.
you
We've-
wait till you see this. It's sick.
It's coming along. It's pretty badass.
That's super cool.
I'm
man.
sure I'll be
You
showing.
know my daughter, my 20-year-old daughter.
You know what we might do in this class? We might do some of the rigging stuff that we're doing for that game in here. That's what I usually do. I usually do some of the project stuff that I do in the rigging class. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it started off as a show sort of thing, and then now it's.
I've been building every aspect of it. You know that.
Yeah.
You've been knowing me. But
So Jason's just kind of getting started around here
I know.
in the game.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of getting his
is he advanced or is he just
he's,
a regular
he's getting there.
Entry kind of.
entry level?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm super into it.
Well, you better hurry up and get into it because we're about to do the all-out game, and I'm bringing people in. So if Chris sees that you got the, some people got the knack.
Right.
So Jason was a project lead in his intro class. So he was
Was he?
a project leader. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Oh, when he see this, then
Jason's a cool customer. We were talking about him today. So he's always calm, collected, smooth.
And that's what you want.
Yeah. You don't
You
want somebody
want
that's
right.
Yeah.
Get out of big out about it. Well, also like Chris and I had talked about yesterday. We also doing the 3D modeling and everything for the cartoon animated series. I'm doing an animated series, so we're way ahead of the game with modeled characters to do a full series.
Right.
For
You have
television.
them pre-built and ready
Yeah, for
to go
television.
sort of thing.
Oh man. Well, we'll take a lot of that material, and I got an company in India called Space Animation Studios. Check them out. They doing it for almost free. They're giving it to them, but the model characters are already be done. The 3D will already be done. So we send them the 3D. We do a Skype deal. Actually, I won't. Y'all will.
Right.
It'll keep y'all paid. Y'all just stay with the script and tell them, hey, it's all animation's all direction.
Right.
That's because it's different when you got human people doing it and you can instruct them. But when you deal with animation, it has to be information,
Right.
communication. You guys understand because that's what you do.
Yeah, I'm into the animation probably more than anything. I think it's really like, I don't know, you can just sit there with like a movie going sort of thing or whatever else, and it'll be done. You'll have the whole thing rigged. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? It'd be good to see you on my team.
Yeah, it'd be super cool.
You never know what the world brings with those that you
Right.
never know who you'll be working at. And you always been nice to me. So it's a good thing for you.
Jason's nice to everybody, man. He's just a cool, chill dude.
I
Just
know.
nice and.
Yeah, this is just one of my plush that I made at home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Check it out. I do the packaging, the whole 9 yards.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I do the packaging. I got this company called.
Oh, see, this is sick.
Thanks. Well, see, my characters don't. My plush, because they have Bluetooth capability,
Yeah.
they don't lay down. So I have a stand so that my characters stand up.
Right.
So when you Bluetooth at your desk, it can play music through the character. That's why I built a stand. Home Depot.
Yeah, you thought it out.
Yeah.
You got it lined up.
Yeah, got the little necklaces.
Right on.
Now in this arm, you see this, the electricity, because there's a phone charger in his arm to charge your phone.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, man, I don't toy around, man.
Yeah.
I just make toys.
He's passionate about it. Sweet.
You know, all the pockets, you can put your change. If you're at an office desk and you're a big kid, you want to put your little change in there. You can play your music down low. Look at the bottom of the shoes. All the bottoms of the shoes are different.
There's a lot going on in that thing. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be like a push me for like a sound sort of thing.
Check it out, Jason.
Oh no,
This is what we got prototype wise so far. So this is one
that's
of the
Dragon
characters.
Master.
Yeah, this is the Dragon Master. He's he doesn't have his textures in there, or whatever. But we got health and stamina, and we got combos working.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't look terribly exciting right now, but
Well,
once
no,
we
it-
start to get like all the sound and
Yeah,
all that.
and Jessica is one of the builders, the mesh builder. And this girl's so bad, man. I'm telling you, she's off the chain with it.
Yeah, I believe it. You see some of these guys working on it, and you're like, damn.
Let me show you what she did, so you can see, kind of get an idea. Yeah, Jessica's a beast.
She's a little
Touchy.
she's a little touchy.
She's a little touchy. I can,
Like sensitive.
very. That's Chris Monster. I ain't dealing with that girl. That girl crazy. Look, she crazy, but she's good. Look, she's modeled. She's
looks
modeled.
smooth,
Yeah,
yeah.
real smooth. She's really good. We separating them and giving them, abs and the whole nine. A lot of little different details I went over with her yesterday.
Right.
But the character composition is gonna be phenomenal.
That's cool.
And but yeah, Jessica's good, man. That's Chris's project. She is, cause that girl, man.
You just gotta, just a little.
She's from Brazil.
Okay.
So-
So, like you tell her stuff's not good or it needs to be changed, and
Oh,
she's
it sticks real hard.
Personal.
Personal.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay.
I'm the coldest. She kind of like myself, but
Yeah.
more humble.
Oh, okay.
I can take criticism. She can take it, but it's hard for her to take it because she knows she's good. You feel
Right.
me? Like
Well, I
I
mean,
know
that's
I'm
good,
good.
though.
I know I'm good. You gotta tell me.
Yeah.
I'm good because I do all the stuff. I do 90% of what I need to do, and I own 100% of it.
Right.
So I'm a storyteller. So when I tell a story, like I'm gonna send Chris all the stories, the bios on the characters.
Mhm.
The story will make you want to play.
Right.
Even you could be a part of Dragon's Ninja Clan. We got music that they can buy online play. They
Okay.
can even buy music at $1.99. You can play your favorite song from my playlist for $1 to fight crime in.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I got local artists that sing for me. Whole 9 yards, work for hire.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of like media and everything going into it.
Oh,
and
dude, too much.
Pre-planned stuff. set
I'm
up.
ahead of it because
Yeah.
I've been doing it. Like,
Right.
Dragon's Ninja Clan product idea. It's a culture, like martial arts. So I know it inside and out. So,
That's cool.
and you got to know the culture of martial arts.
You build a brand and
Hey,
it like represents itself.
absolutely. This is licensing stuff.
So this here, it's a 4-player game sort of thing.
Mhm.
Right.
Is it kind of like a maze kind of thing? Is it like a
Yeah, they fight in the city of Chirac.
RPG?
In the
Let me
city.
show you. It's a 2.5D side scroller.
Okay.
So I'll show you one of the maps here.
Yeah, you need to come here on a Thursday or a Tuesday. You'll be like, dude, they killing it. I mean,
I'm here Tuesday to Friday.
but you're not in here though.
Well, yeah, not for a project development. No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more like a modeling and animation
In
specific
here?
stuff. Yeah,
I never seen you here on a Tuesday.
in the afternoons.
Jason.
Oh yeah, no, because we here in the morning. See,
Oh, that looks good.
yeah, man, they can actually
Yeah, I like that.
they can kick through windows and cut stuff down. Man, it's just a lot of stuff, man.
I mean, I like the style. It's got like the kind of like
City of Chicago. It's the Chirac. They're fighting in
You're
Chirac.
talking about cell shading kind of thing.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the like in Borderlands. It's
Yeah.
kind of like
That's the style. I'm
3D
going for.
meets 2D kind
Right.
of look.
Yeah.
Self-fitting.
Yep. That's our
That's
style.
awesome.
I know. Dan is our project lead, and he's. I don't know if you met Dan yet, Asian Dan. He's a beast.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
real good.
We fight from Hollywood to in the hood. We fight crime at the drop of a dime.
That's the city from this game, though, isn't it? It's
What
Whole.
game is that?
What's it?
Well, I mean, we got it from an asset pack, so
Oh, okay.
We're gonna use it.
yeah, it didn't. Nobody. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, got it.
Ours has kind of a different look
Okay.
anyway with the cell shading.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ones fighting in the streets.
From Hollywood to in the hood.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I was thinking about a bunch of stuff last night. A bunch of things we're gonna do. Try and keep the combos interesting, and
Right.
now that our team is starting to like really
Come together.
understand the pipeline, and we're starting to move a lot quicker than I,
Right. Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Good stuff.
I just had some questions like, what did you think about like media?
In what regard?
Getting media and attention. I don't know.
Now?
No, not now, but at any point.
Me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it as long as we have something to show.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? I'd like to get,
I'm talking on the news media.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
like me,
And you,
or the game, or me.
me and you, both in the game, coming
Like-
out of here.
I need to get that issue sorted out first, because
Okay,
we don't want,
We ain't gonna do it then.
we don't want.
We ain't doing it.
Well, you know
I-
what's gonna. As soon as somebody
Yeah.
get on TV, what are you working? Oh, he's working on that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You know how that works.
We gonna do it.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's why I asked.
That's why I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram right now.
Why not?
I don't need my business out there like that.
You know,
I need to be a ghost right now.
I'm on Facebook, man, but I don't say nothing. I just watch what
Observe.
people do. I observe. I mean, everybody wants to be my friend,
Right.
But I'm on Facebook not as a company, not as an individual.
Right.
As Greg the Tool Man. I got a personal page, but I haven't been to my personal page in years.
Uh-huh. All right, you guys, let's wrap this giraffe up. Let's wrap the weighting up. We got to start to put in the controls.
That is sick, dude. Now you just did that. You just didn't kick somebody.
Yeah. This is not bad. I mean, there's good, and there's good enough. And this is good enough, I'm going to call it.
So what do they do at home? They still work these programs?
Yeah.
So y'all give them a computer, a laptop?
No.
They
They
have
have
that
their
in-
own.
Now, is this PC or Mac?
This is PCs. These are Alienwares.
Yeah, they better than Mac.
Yeah.
PC better than Mac now.
Well, the parts.
Mac was good at one point. PC kicked this.
Well, here's the thing: is that the reality is the same parts that are in a PC are in a Mac. It's
Right.
just there's the
Different
brand.
operation.
Well, they upcharge the brand. Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They pay a damn fortune for those iMacs.
Hey man, this Alienware,
Mhm.
this shit costs
Yeah, they're expensive, but they
What
give
do-
they
what
give
do-
me anything I want here.
what do that one computer cost?
5.
Shit, y'all got, well, they got Alienware next door too.
They give me 2 labs. I have over 450 students.
So you run all these labs.
I run the whole program, dude.
You run this whole.
I run the whole thing.
Wow. Chris, God damn it.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking to the wrong motherfuckers then. Well, cause I was trying to get them to do me like a photo op thing,
Uh-huh. Well, I'm not over photo. I'm over game.
Okay, so that's okay.
Photo's another.
Yeah, okay. I thought you was doing the whole. Yeah.
No, but if you want photo stuff, just talk to Wayne Lucas. He's kind of got gray hair. He looks like a hippie.
Yeah, he said didn't enough people get into class. So I said, well, what about your current photographers? Can I get somebody? And the lady, she was cool. She was like, yeah, let me get your number. She got my information. She never called me. I knew she wouldn't. I could just.
Now another option is so there's the glass lab, which is right there.
Yeah.
You know, the glass one.
Yeah.
So we have like cameras that you can rent for free. They're like amazing cameras that the school buys. Sony DSLR.
I want them to
Yeah,
do it.
somebody will do it for you with the lab. You can just ask somebody. They'll just say, "Hey, I want to take pictures of whatever." And they'll go, "Oh, yeah, sure."
Okay.
They'll set it up all for you. We got a green screen thing. And
What?
yeah, we got all that stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah, because I wanted to do like a setting where I'm sitting with me and all my toys. I got a lot of toys.
That's crazy.
That'd be fucking sick. Yeah, I got a lot of fucking toys.
Yeah, man.
Lots of toys. Dude, I got a lot of toys. And I just want to, I want a picture with me with all my toys. And I think that would be like crazy sick. Where any type of setting that we do, I need my toys as props when we're doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're, listen,
Branding.
Chris, no, not just branding. Listen, the money is in licensing. Fuck this game. This game ain't shit. This game is a vehicle that drive Hasbro, Nintendo. Hasbro, and all these major toy companies to license my shit. That's how that. So when I tell people I was, appraised at 2.8 to 3 billion, it ain't just a thing.
Right.
It's a toys.
Right.
I sell toys by way of branding. That's why the D got to be on the bottom of the shoes. I'm branding so hard. A major company said, "Hey, Greg, can your characters do my commercial for me?" Love the branding. Love the idea. We will be one of the most top companies in branding with these characters. You'd be like, dude, I've never seen it, but I can see it. I see us we're talking about General Mills, fruit roll-ups. I'm talking about the whole, I'm like way out there.
Cookies.
Dude, they licensed it to put on the cookies. They want it on this. They want it on that. That's what you missing, what I'm trying to get you to understand. Because you need to understand. So you're like, okay, I see what this motherfucker doing. That's where the money at. The merchandising.
Yeah.
You feel me? Keychains, everything. Now, so in your mind, when I tell you that, you may not really understand now, but it will register.
Sure.
And you say, this motherfucker is a monster. Fucking right. What we're doing with the cereal boxes, we're doing the musical CDs, collectors CDs on MP3. You don't even understand what I'm talking about. You say, you motherfucker, you changed the game. So I'm on something totally different, business-wise, because I'm really blessed that I'm not a starving artist. I understand all the business, from the copyrights to the trademarking to the patents to licensing. I've been to licensing shows in New York. I get it. All these motherfuckers want to own me because they say this motherfucker bad. I figured out all the ideas for branding. We talking about Halloween costumes. Cartoon Network, I was going to do a deal with them. They had a big deal for CBS with Dragon Ninja Clan. They wanted they had some people to dress up like my characters, and this is all the stuff they was telling me they wanted. They called me and said, well, Greg, we would have to own that. Yeah, and how about kiss my black ass?
How much do they want to pay you?
Yeah, we said we had to own it. My point was I'm not selling it. And I told them that, up jump, not selling it. They said, okay, fine. We'll get back with you, but this is what we have lined up for CBS with Dragon Ninja Clan. We can do this. I said, I'm not selling it. They said, okay, we good with that. Called me back. Oh, we had to own this shit. 4Kids Entertainment, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I met with these Asian people, flew me to New York twice. I'm not selling it. I'm just not selling nothing, Chris. I know what I got, and I can take it. If I sat on the board of directors of Dragon Ball Z. That motherfucking shit'll be the baddest shit. I'm a thinker. That's what I do. I create the marketing strategies for the clan. Like you wouldn't even believe. You'd be like, motherfucker, you had to have gone to a major college.
How's it going?
Can you read that in the dark? Do you know that person?
Hold on, I can't read. Jinjay, Sanji, Rana Hagar. No idea.
Was found in here last night.
No clue.
All right.
Who's the instructor?
I didn't check.
Ask. That would be
Who
who.
do you have in here?
Uh,
Anyway, I'm taking it to camps.
Okay.
No, three level.
All right. Who are we waiting on to wrap up the weights?
You cool, ain't you?
Yeah.
Still waiting.
I made that at home.
All right.
Man, I'm just.
Keep working. Let's clean them up.
Gotta get ninja clean. Yeah, I got a sewing machine. I got $12,000 sewing machine. Yeah, I got a professional grade. Juki. Yeah, I make these at home.
Do that with mine. Some people at work, so if you want to try it, skin.
Yeah, I make this stuff at home, man. Package. Oh, no. Yeah, I do the most on it. But Chris, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's like we put in this before that game is done. We will already be a multi-million-dollar company. Is what I'm trying to tell you. For that fucking game drop, they've already got licensing deals to push the merchandise. And Microsoft knows that. Sony knows that. You feel what I'm saying? They already know. They said it's over with. The man that created the whole thing. They don't have to do anything. I'm so ahead of the game with the idea of licensing and products. We don't have to do. That's it. That's all I needed was a game. It's over with. They said, I've dealt with Microsoft. They got all they've signed my non-disclosures. I put together a press, what's it called? Press deck, deck press, whatever the fuck it's called. They got they know what I'm about. You feel what I'm saying? Because they want to own me. But they were going to develop the whole, see, when I started out with this, I went to my wife and I went to Damian Marley concert. We were just in the line talking. Met the people from Microsoft, Dale Smith or whatever his name is, and a couple other guys with Microsoft. We talked, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I like that. Can I get your number?" Gave him my number. I didn't want to go to Microsoft in Irving, so they came to my house, reviewed everything. They said it would be a great idea because they got a new project. What they do is they fund. They got money to fund any project they want to fund. They, in particular, was going to fund the animated game. This is where Hire started. So let's do the game. Motherfuckers come to my house. Oh, they seen everything I had. Oh well, we wanna be a part of the animated series because they seen the cartoon show. So he's showing it to his higher ups. We're on this nigga. What this? So they invited me to Irving. In fact, Howard and I both went and visited. They gave me an office. They gave me people to do anything I wanted to do. I said, okay, what do you guys want? So we in a big office with people in the room that will do anything I'm telling them to do. I said, I said, here's the thing, Dean. What do you want from me? I said, we'll talk about that later. No, we won't. We will not talk about that later. He said, well, Greg, won't you just calm down? Who the fuck is you talking to? You know what I'm saying? So if Howard tell you, you'll fall out laughing. So Howard said, hold up, D, relax. What Greg needs to know is what do you want from him with this project? You're not telling him you going to give him all this stuff and you don't want nothing. I mean, dude, when I went into Microsoft in Irving, them son of a bitches had a glass deal with what you call it, towers. What you know?
Servers?
Man, they had a server room that you would just die to have. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I mean, they gave me a nice office, everything. You're giving up too much. You feel me? This is a fight I can't win. You follow me? When shit's bigger than you, you need to make a step back. You feel me?
Yeah.
It was just bigger than me. I just couldn't do it. I need some shit that I can control on my level. Cause I don't have the staff. I don't have the. Mark Johnson is my attorney with Winstead PC. He's one of the best attorneys for this type of stuff in the country. You follow me?
Like intellectual property?
All that.
Okay.
It's called Winstead PC. Now, Mark represents me pro bono, and he'll do anything I ask him to do because he believes in me and what I'm doing. But like I say, doing something on that scale is a whole lot of shit, bro. You feel what I'm saying? This scales me all the way down to a controllable situation. Follow me?
Sure.
This is controllable. Okay, we do the game. Got the money. The licensing's easy. I go through Brand Central. Brand Central is who does the licensing. They'll set up all my licensing deals. It'll be nice and smooth transition. You follow me?
Sure.
So I just needed where I can manage it. I don't have the staff to support me doing anything with Microsoft on a major level. You follow me? As an independent with Lewis White, as an independent, we can do the licensing deals with Sony now as an independent. So that works because it's a licensing deal and they're paying for it. So they say, you deliver us this, we'll give you that. I can live with that. You follow me?
Yeah.
We take all the online would be ours. We doing all the online because it's free to play. But then you pay. You follow me?
Yeah.
Sony can have, I'll license up the client to them, Nintendo. You follow what I'm saying? The reason we license to Wii is because we got our own music. Sony loves us to death. Doing a deal with Sony would be like taking candy from a baby because that's what they do. They're into music. You follow me? That's their what I want to say.
Bread and butter?
Absolutely, to the core. The clan is shit to them because it's animated and that's big and I own all the music. So like even when I was dealing with Todd Bridges and his brother James, they want to own my music. Why would I give you rights to my music and I own it?
What were they going to give you?
Well, we agreed to do a 70-30 deal. This motherfucker told me, yeah, we can do it, but I need to own all the rights to the music. It'd be different, Chris, if I had no music and they were going to provide the music, you feel me?
Yeah.
That would be one thing. But I already had all the music. I say, man, I own 80 tracks of music. Why would I give you rights to my music to partner with you? It just doesn't make sense. And Chris, all these son of bitches, they would have been rich with 5% of my shit. You feel me? At 5%. Just imagine, at 5%, we've done close to $1 billion in licensing deals in 1 year. They would have money hand over fist at 5%. But everybody wants to be greedy. I don't get it, man. I'm like, this dude is just crazy, man.
I think it's about control. They want to control.
No, man. I can't do it. I never do it. And this possibility gives me an option to build my own team on my own stance. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, listen.
We're taking Elijah with us.
It's like,
Remember Elijah?
yeah, he coming. Yeah, Elijah, he's good. See, you gotta understand this. Everybody's competing. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Wii. Everyone's competing on who's going to be the best and who's going to come out with this. So that puts us in an easy bracket of a $108.9 billion industry. They got to have it. You feel what I'm saying? Why do they have to have it? Because the degrees in manufacturing this game, they know didn't come easy. And ain't none of their business who did it.
Who did it?
Doesn't matter. The names, that's not even an issue. It's like, who wants it
Yeah.
at that point? And see, you wondering why Lewis White has a pawn on the table. It's because he do phones.
Yeah.
We're going to the phone side of it because he made his millions in phones. He want the shit on phone. Lewis White fuck with Chinese, man. Overseas, they come fly here.
Yeah.
And fuck with this dude. Listen to me, man. This dude is so powerful. He buy pussy and sell it to them, to the Chinese. He makes sure they got bitches and everything. This shit's crazy. But when you got money like that, you run around with Ferraris and Lamborghinis and shit. They say his home is a $3 million crib. You know, that's big in the city, you know, state of Texas, because property value is not like if you was in Chicago.
$3 million would be nothing.
Oh, well, if you in Chicago, $3 million would be it would just
It'd be all right.
No, it won't be all right because it's fucking shit's high. You get a 1-bedroom apartment, your ass might pay $2 grand for a 1-bedroom, easy.
Yeah.
But in the South, things are cheaper.
Yeah.
So can you imagine what his crib looked like at $3 million? Just if you look at, you know, I mean, you do real estate.
Yeah.
$3 million homes are pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know, he lived by himself, not married or nothing, single. He was a
Smart.
single guy with a $3 million. Yeah, he's smart. No children. That, he remind me of you. I'm trying to tell you. You and him will get along. You'll be like, y'all the same height. He's a straight nerd. All he understands is cell phone shit. You know what I mean? Like, he understands apps. That's why he partnered with T.I. He partnered with T.I. because,
Did that app get released?
yeah, it's called Moolah.
What does it do?
It's like Cash App.
Oh, okay.
It's like Cash App, but it's just called Moolah. And
I think I've heard of it.
yeah, it's out there. It's out there. So he invested into that
Okay.
deal with him. When I was telling him about
So
my
T.I. was the marketing behind it.
yeah, but his name was behind it.
Yeah.
Games you don't need names as much because we would just do commercials. We would do commercials. Dragons Ninja Clan, Sword of Destiny, free to play. Do some animated shit on television.
It'd be cool if we could get a name behind it. Somebody's, you know, somebody to
I really don't
get
care.
it out there. You
I
do
don't
it?
care. I don't. You know why? Because once they see the characters and shit, it'll sell itself.
Okay.
Mom, I want them motherfucking ninjas. That's what it's gonna become.
Gotta make the game as fun as it can be, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm not really impressed with celebrity appeal because I want regular people to be able to be a part of what I'm doing, to be successful. Because I'm just a regular guy. So why would I go on the other side to do what? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
How we doing, guys? We waiting on anybody? All right. Keep working at it. That's loud.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, man. So that's kind of, like at some point, like I say, I try to come talk to you so you understand like the bigger picture. That it's not just a game I'm focusing on.
yeah, of course.
I got these licensing deals.
So, do you remember when you first met me? And I was working on the Voodoo project.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when I was working on the Voodoo project, I was like, I'm like heavy into this, right? I was like, I can't talk about Dragon right now. Like that's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like when
You said let me finish this first.
yeah, like and we finished it,
Mhm.
and then now I'm into Dragon, and it's all I think about is
Right.
Dragon. So like my job right now is to make sure that I get you the best thing I can get you, and that we finish it, right? And then I got like tunnel vision, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I should be, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but at the same time, I'm telling you, man. Hey, look, dude. I can pay you enough you'll be like, oh, okay. But it'll be more than just a game.
Mm.
The animated series directed people on a whole nother level. Just working with the projects. You make so much money, dude. I'll just say, here, man, just come on, let's rock it. You feel me?
I do.
And you'll be like, I'm out for that reason.
I got a funny thing, a story I'll tell you. Hey guys, I saved my file and put up the link in case for whatever reason yours broke or something like that. We're gonna move on to controls here at about 11:45. So my first game that I released was called Alien Monster Bowling League. I want to show it to you.
Is it still available?
Yeah.
Okay. You sell it? What do you do with it?
Let me explain to you here. Not Alien Monster Bowling League. So I worked for a video game company for a little while, and in my spare time I was making this game, and it's heavily character based as well, just like your stuff is. That's what my strong suit is characters. That's
Right.
where my background.
Multi-character.
Yeah, and anyway, so we made this game all on our own.
You see how you did that?
Yeah, we did all that.
They did the white fang and then the dragon with the 2Ds in it.
Yeah.
Follow me?
Yeah, so
I'm
as you
feeling
can see,
it.
we got all these characters here. They're all space characters, and it's bowling in space, basically. And we did it. It's like bowling, but versus with super moves, kind of. And anyway, so I made this in my spare time with a team, just like how we're doing yours. Nobody was getting paid. Everybody was just sweat equity kind of thing. And then when it was done, we put it on this, which is called Steam, which is, there's a lot of money to be made on this, by the way.
For support.
Well, it's more than support. You can buy the game off here. See, it's a store.
Okay.
This is one of the biggest game stores on the planet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's totally digital. And anyways, so I put it up here, and then I took it to a publisher, and a publisher gave me a publishing deal to do the Wii version of the game, and that's how I started my first video game company. And so we did that.
How much was that?
$200,000.
That wasn't no money.
I know. It was at the time for me
Right.
to start my company, and then, but the kicker is that I was supposed to get royalties. They were gonna sell the game for $20, put it out there, and I was supposed to get $1 for every copy, which wasn't shit. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. They ended up.
I want you to sell a million copies.
They ended up selling. They ended up selling like 100,000 copies, and they never paid me a dime in royalties.
Why?
We had a contract and everything, because the language in the contract, the intent was $1 per copy. The way that they wrote the language in the financial language in the contract was like, it was real tricky. You know,
I'm gonna tell you where they put it at.
What?
Marketing and advertisement.
Some, but anyway,
I know the kind of tricks to word.
I didn't get paid. My company didn't get paid. We got burned bad.
Okay, so did you?
That was my
did
first
you try to sue?
experience. So what ended up happening was, at the time, I had a company. I had like a bunch of people. Like, I had to keep the lights on. I had mouths to feed. So we were like, I can't take on a lawsuit right now. Like, so we ended up. We were small at the time, so I had to take on other projects to keep the lights on and do all that. So the statute of limitations for the contract, us being able to do anything on it, ended up running out. So I lost a bunch of money. I should be a millionaire.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. I think they made like about 10 million on that, and I didn't ever see a dime.
Chris, let me tell you, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Dragon Ninja Clan, as a whole, all vehicles from gaming to television, make 4 to 5 billion. No different than Pokemon. Pokemon made over 5 billion their first year. You know that, right? Yeah, they made over 5 billion their first year. Is that crazy or what?
It's insane.
Yeah. That's the kind of money I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no bullshit.
Hang on, let me see.
I put it up on the projector.
I'm not talking about no bullshit. Like, I know a lot of people bullshit you. You feel me? But you ain't stupid. I own everything myself. That's your advantage. Say, hey, man, Greg own all this shit. I ain't got no partners, none of that. Howard just works with me. He's just kind of a yes man. That's it. I own every fucking thing. Can show you all the copyrights. You'd be like, you motherfucker. Because, let me tell you something. I watch people blow with partners. partner got 50%, you got 50%. It's got to be both say so. I
Right.
said, you know what? I never go into business like that. I'm gonna have all the say so.
Yeah.
That's the advantage that we have. You ain't dealing with no 100 people, 2 or 3. You dealing with one dude that own everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling you how we gonna get rich. We ain't dealing with no 100,000 people who I gotta feed and they all in my pockets. The key to being successful is keep people out of your pockets.
Oh yeah.
If you keep them out your pockets, you've done well. Now, give it. We do the game. I'm not even second guessing that. That's a given. We need to go directly straight into animated series for television. You follow what I'm saying? Because that's residual income, and it's a bigger vehicle to push the game as well.
Yeah.
So what I do, I put the commercial of the game on the show.
Yeah.
But I write commercials.
Yeah.
So we'll take a commercial and put it on during the game, and the licensing deals would never stop. We're going to clothing. You see that? Dude, I got belt buckles for the kids. This comes with a belt buckle for your son or daughter. It comes with a real belt buckle. That's 24 karat gold plated. I deal with a gold plating company here in Richardson that does the gold plating. I sew this shit together myself. I know it's unbelievable. You motherfucker. On the back of every character is my signature with the D. It says Greg McAdory with the D on the back of each and every character. I'm just showing you the kind of quality that goes into some shit with my hands. I'm good with my hands, man.
I like
Would you thought I made? Be honest. I'm making all this shit in my.
That's psychic.
That's psychic. But see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Our advantage. I'm an electrical mechanical engineer. I'm engineering my own shit. Hey man, I got some shit. I'm doing an AI project, artificial intelligence project. You gonna say, you motherfucker, you became a billionaire with one idea. That's how I think. Microsoft was like, what the fuck? They were like, hey man, what school did you go to? Never been to school. And before you find out on your own, I've been to over 15 penitentiaries in the state of Illinois. Single most dangerous inmate, Illinois Department of Corrections, B30776.
Nice.
I'm just, my story, listen, they say your life story is worth more than a cartoon, Greg. I'm an ex-gang chief drug lord.
Nice.
I've ran thousands of people. That's why I'm so cool. I know who I am. Versus somebody whose mystique is unknown. You follow me? My mother said, hey, you tell thousands of people what to do. Do something for yourself.
Yeah.
You feel me? I've been over, listen, when they hear the story, see, look, my story make you buy my shit. I've been on 15 penitentiaries. My mother taught me how to sew when I was 5, 6 years old. Remember, I was born in 1966, so home ec was at home. My mother is like blown away.
So what you had this printed somewhere and then you sew it.
Yes, sir. Look, I got a company on Regal Road. They print it on paper. I created an illustrator, email it to them, the size I wanted. They print it on paper. It's called dye sublimation. I got a heat press. That's how I make all this shit. I made this. Yeah, I got a heat press. I heat press all this on. This is dye sublimation. I heat press it on material I get from Joanne Fabrics. I cut it out. I get each piece together and I sew it. I got a $12,000 sewing machine. A Juki, professional grade. Sew every piece. Oh, dude, you ain't seen nothing. People come to my house like, what the fuck? They be like, that's your wife's sewing machine. That's my sewing machine. My wife can't sew.
All right. I gotta get back to this.
Just kind of, so like, what you do, you get to learn people. You feel me?
Yeah.
Cause you don't know me, but I kind of like, I want to come in and kind of tell you my story. We all got a story, but my story is better than yours.
Probably.
You better believe it.
I've done some shit, dude. Though.
Yeah, you know no shit.
I ain't done no shit like
You
you.
just didn't get caught.
Yeah.
It ain't about what you do, it's about
How you get caught.
Well, you know what you
You
do.
get caught doing it.
When you build a relationship with people, just be real.
Yes.
You know, it's better that way than people like, oh man, I didn't know. Well, yeah, you know now. You know, I just keep it real. Because if I don't, you feel like, oh man, you know, you could at least said that part, right?
All right, man.
But yeah,
Let me get these guys rolling. Good
yes,
to see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Let's get some controls up in this giraffe.
Yeah.
Everybody got the link here.
Oh man, he got his grab sweet. Oh, there go the man up there. Oh man, the man of the hour up here chilling. All quiet, ain't said nothing. Yeah, man, don't mean nothing. Man, you roll up on us anytime. Quit playing, you know that. Play too much, man. You got it. What's it over there? You better hurry up and get it, man, so y'all can come work with me. If I come in, I ain't playing. Okay. Chris, be on him, man.
Oh, Corey gets it. Corey gets. Yeah, he gets it.
Well, you know, I got a lot of modeling to do. You know, I got a lot of modeling to do. Hey, Chris,
What's up?
put Corey on some stuff with Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
I want to see what they do with the clan.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I want to see. You hear me? I want you to brag about it too when you do it. Okay. All right, appreciate it, guys. All right, see you, bro. Be good, man.
All right, guys.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to controls. If it ain't working the way you want it, don't even worry about it. So on the upper left side, you'll see where it says curves. We're going to start off and we're going to create a curve. Circle curve on the grid like this. Just click the circle curve. Yeah, curves. There's a curves tab. This is what we're going to use to move Mr. Giraffe around with. Now, at the center of the grid, we've got a root node in there. You guys see that root joint? It should be in the very center of the grid. Is that it on y'all's? Go ahead and select that, then select the hip, and then hit P. Or, I'm sorry, select the hip first, then select the root node, then hit P. We want the root node to be at 0, 0, 0. So just like this. You want to parent the hip to the root.
Or just press R. Oh yeah, just press R. Doesn't need to be that. And just do this. Yeah, that'll do that. Let's see. Let's see.
now what we're going to do is, so as you can see, the root node here, or the root joint, is a different color than all the other joints. That's because it hasn't been added to the skeleton yet. It has been added to the skin. So what we need to do is we need to add that. In. You can't just parent joints into something that's already skinned, and Maya will be like, "Oh, let me just add this into the skin." You actually have to do it. Tell Maya to do it. So I want you to select your giraffe, shift select that root joint, and then go to Skin, Edit Influences, and then the option box for Add Influence. Make sure your giraffe is set back at its bind pose. So select the giraffe, and then go to Skin, go to Bind Pose. So select your giraffe, go to Skin, go to Bind Pose.
Go for that. It's not very.
Select your giraffe.
Oh.
You have to tell Maya what thing you want to do whatever process to.
I clicked on it and clicking bind skin. It's
No. Go to Bind Pose.
So how do I find the root?
Skin, select your giraffe, Skin, go to Bind Pose.
That's how you do it. Root?
No. One problem at a time, you guys.
Sorry.
Select the giraffe, shift select the root node, and then go to Skin, Edit Influences option box. Add Influences. You want to check the box that says Lock Weights, and then hit Apply. That's going to add in that bone to this skin. So now the
From the add influence option in the supply, good.
yes. Make sure you have the giraffe and the root bone selected when you do. Or it's going to throw an error.
I am.
There you go. Can I do that? Don't know how you add it to the skeleton like that.
All right, next we have this control here. Okay, we want to make this the main control that moves the entire giraffe. As you can see, when we move the control right now, it doesn't do a whole lot of anything. So we want to attach it to the bone. We're not going to use parenting. We're going to keep these controls separate from the hierarchy of the skeleton. So we need to use what's called constraints. But before we constrain this, we need to wipe off all the translation data out of the channel box and clear the history, just like we do with the skin before we skin it. So select the circular control and then go up to Edit, Delete by Type History, Modify, Freeze Transformations. Edit, Delete by Type History, Modify, Freeze Transformations. right. Now that we've cleared the history, we're going to go ahead and constrain it to this bone. So let's open up our constraints menu. At the top you should see constraints, and what we're going to use is the option box for parent constrain. So what this is going to do is it's going to act like you're parenting it or adding it to the hierarchy, but it's going to remain separate from the actual hierarchy. So if we were going to export this out as an FBX into the Unreal Engine, it wouldn't export those constraints. It would only export the bones and the skin, but we have these controls in here so the animators can actually animate this thing. So, all right, with the parent constraint options open, we're just going to keep everything as is. Select the control first, then the bone, and hit apply. And then that way, when you select the control and move it, it will now move the giraffe. So control first, then bone, and hit apply. That's how you attach controls to the giraffe. So grab your controller, hit W to move, and move it around. It should move the entire giraffe. You can also rotate that, do whatever. Everybody with me?
Mine just moves the skeleton.
That's a problem. Hit undo. Did you break your weighting?
No, I did lock.
Grab the bone itself. Move that. Yeah, your weighting's broken. So undo to where the weighting works. There you go. So just do it now. Add it, constraint it now. All right, so we're going to create some more circles to move this guy around. We need to add one. So create another NURB circle. And this time we want to move it. And when you move these things, I'm just going to go to show and turn off my polygons here just to look at the skeleton. As you move these circles around, you can hold V and they will snap to each bone, okay? So what we want to do is we're going to create a circle as kind of like a hula hoop. And this one we're going to put around the hip, okay? Like so. And then we're going to duplicate that. Control D, and snap to the additional hips. V snaps, so we have 4 controls running along the spine. Okay. Control D duplicates, and if you hold V while you're moving, they will snap to joints. Now I recommend turning off you can go to show and you can turn off polygons, and that'll help you. V will also snap to polygons. So
Do we pair any of the joints into these?
no. You're going to once you clear the history and delete transformations on these circles, you're going to use your parent constraint option to parent constraint these to the joints. No, the joints that you snapped it to.
Okay, that's gonna be hard.
Why?
Cause oh never mind. We're good, I guess. Yeah, but like it selects the whole skeleton when I select a joint.
Shouldn't. Click the joints individually. Click the arrow tool to do it.
What's that?
So we are attaching
Using the parent constraint tool. Yes.
individual joints.
All right, you guys. Hey, everybody, take a look up here real quick. I have all the spine joints here, like this. Or here are all the spine joints. See, I can select them individually. And then I have my controls, okay, the ones I created. I'm going to shift select all these controls. And at one time, I'm going to go edit, delete by type history, modify freeze transformations. Then I'm going to select each control individually. Then shift select the bone that it's supposed to attach to and hit apply with my parent constraint. Then do the process over, then do the process over, then do the process over. So that when I rotate these controls, they rotate the joints. See that? Now each one of these controls will need to be parented to the next one down, just like the neck is to the spine, and the spine is all the way down to the hip. So you'll have to select each one and parent, each one P, each one P. So when you rotate the base one, it's going to rotate the next one down the chain. That makes sense.
My bad. I was trying to
Yeah.
position our circle. So okay, so
I kind of figured I'd have to go over all this again.
my bad. So
I'm not sweating
I
it.
know you selected each one.
Right. 1 second. Okay. Let me go over this process again, okay? So, why don't you guys just watch for now? That way you get the whole process. It's very easy. I do a lot of stuff at one time here to save time. So I'll create like 4 controls at one time and just do them all at one time. Alright, so right now my controls aren't attached to anything, and the bones are just parented to each other, okay? I'm just going to select all my controls, edit, delete by type history, modify freeze transformations. We've done it a million times before. That's going to kill all the history on these controls, okay? Maya thinks they've been created where they're sitting right now. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to select a control, shift select a bone I want to attach it to, and hit apply in my parent constraint options. Constrain parent option box. Then I'm going to shift select the next control down, select the next bone down, apply, and so on and so forth. But since these controls control the spine, okay, when I rotate the base control, they need to act like their spine as well. So I need to parent these controls to each other down the chain. Okay, so when I select one of the controls, it rotates the next one down the chain and rotates the next one down the chain. So I parented those to each other just like the joints are parented to each other in a spine. Does that make sense? I know that's a lot of info. Guys, help each other. I want you guys to build similar controls that you did for the spine all the way up the neck to the head. That's going to be the last thing that we do today. It's the same thing you just did. Just build them up the neck. And then and then save your files and we're going to call it a day. I'm not going to murder you guys too hard today.
No clue. So his move tool is extremely small. How do you make it bigger?
Use the plus and minus on your keyboard.
Plus and minus. Oh my god.
Must have been around keys.
Yep. So y'all's next task is to build controls up and down the neck, just like you did the spine. Delete history, clear transformations, and then parent constrain them in, and then parent them to each other down the chain, right into the spine.
Only up top of the neck, or do we
Look at how I have it. See? Yeah, you want to go all the way to the head joint. Just do them to the joints that you have there. That's it.
And it would go from the I don't know if the bone.
So every single bone along the head, neck, and spine we want to control for. Every single. Look up here. Every single one.
But the direction that we put it is from the core to the head.
Yeah, the directions flows from the butt all the way to the head. Yes. And you can scale these things to fit around the neck. Make sure you delete history and freeze transformations before you parent constrain them. Edit, delete by type history, modify, freeze transformations. Something that you're going to be doing a lot of. Then just select the control, select the joint, constrain. So on and so forth. And then parent the controls to each other. And then you're going to parent the end of the new 4 right into the spine. So when you rotate the hip, it should rotate every single one of them.
Sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I roll up that I want to ask something that's supposed to be doing this.
Come here.
Did I miss a step? Because I parented all of them correctly. I did all
So you
that.
parent this one to this one, then
Yeah.
this one to this one,
Yes.
then this one to this one,
Yes.
then this one
Oh.
to this one. You gotta parent these into the other one.
I got it.
They all connect. once you get all the controls, one of the things that might help you guys, if you have a controller selected or anything selected and that manipulator is up and it's in your way, if you tap the T key, the manipulator will disappear and get out of your way so you can like select stuff. So if you want to hide the manipulator, just hit T. When I say manipulator, I mean like the arrows or the rotator.
Q does the same thing, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Q is the same thing, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So when you select all the controls except for the root and hit E to rotate on them, it'll do this. So you can test your or you can just do the neck by shift selecting all the neck controls and then using the rotate tool, and you can see how his neck operates like this. When you're done, save your files, and we'll call it a wrap for the day.